instead of Hershey's because it's way more cheaper. And why I choose biscuits instead of graham crackers because I can't find any graham crackers from Jaya Grocer or Tesco. So I searched on the web where it contains s'mores hacks, and one of them is using chocolate and milk biscuits. So now I'm going to demonstrate on making cheese sandwich. So the first step is to turn on the iron. If you're using iron with 2400 watts or higher, make sure to use high heat or maybe medium because we don't want to burn our food. And after that, don't forget to turn off the steam because it will make our bread damp, and let it set for a few minutes. So while waiting for the iron to heat up, we're going to set up the sandwich. Okay, so first, take a piece of aluminum foil and place it on the table. But before that, we must know that which side we should use because there's a shiny side and a dull side. For when we want to cook, we must make sure that the shiny side is facing the food because the heat will reflect the food and it will cook the food. While the dull side is going to be the outer part, but me, I'm going to put it on the table. So after that, take a piece of bread and then put it on the foil, and after that, take a slice of cheese and place it on the bread. But this cheese has already melted, so it's going to be a little hard for me to put on the bread. So after that, put another slice of bread on the cheese, and after that, we're going to go to the next step, which is fold the foil. When folding the foil, make sure that we cover the sandwich entirely because we want to make sure that the cheese is melted fully. Okay, so after folding the foil, we're going to the next part, which is the heating part. So get the iron ready and place it on the sandwich slowly. And after that, we're going to leave it for a minute. And after a minute, we're going to turn over the sandwich and do the same step again, which is to put it a minute again. So while waiting for the cheese sandwich to cook, we're going to set up the s'mores because we don't want to waste any time. So for the s'mores, just like the sandwich, take a small rectangular size foil and make sure the shiny part is upwards because we want to make sure that the food is reflecting on it. So after that, take a piece of biscuit and place it on the foil. After that, take a piece of Cadbury chocolate followed by marshmallow. And after that, top it off with another biscuit on it. And make sure to arrange it carefully because if you don't, it will fall off easily. Okay, so before we go to the next step, we're going to turn over the sandwich. Okay, so after that, we're going to fold the foil. When folding the foil for the s'mores, we don't have to cover the s'mores fully because we want to keep an eye on the process of melting of marshmallow and chocolate. So just make sure that the top of the biscuit is covered entirely. So after that, before we go to the next step, which is the heating part, we're going to check on our sandwich, which is already done. Okay, so here you have it, sandwich. Inside it is melted already. So after I heat it, I'm sure that it's already melted. So we're going to the next part, which is heating the s'more. When heating the s'mores, we have to be very gently because we don't want to break the biscuit. So we have to put it gently and leave it for a few seconds. And after we leave it for a few seconds, we're going to turn it over and do the same step again. So when it's done, carefully remove the foil and make sure that we didn't touch it because it's really hot. And after that, we have our s'mores here. So after that, we're going to review our steps again. But before I review it, I'm going to give some food samples to all of you. Okay, so let's review the steps. So for the cheese sandwich, firstly is to turn on the iron. Next step is to set up the sandwich. After that is to fold the foil, and lastly is to place the iron on the foil. While for the s'mores, make sure to turn on the iron as well. After that, set up the s'mores, and lastly to place the iron on it. So I hope that everyone find this very beneficial because it's easy to make and it tastes so good. And I hope that everyone can get creative after this and start cooking using electrical appliances, like using clothing iron or water heater instead of cooking appliances. So that's all from me. Thank you and have a great day.